J.K. Stewart Creative here on the date of, what's today? The 5th of February, 2020. I'm sitting in our foyer, the coat room, because, well, what else is important in Finland other than putting on your coat when you're going outside? But I want to put on a number of topics. First and foremost, in the United States, particularly in the Protestant church, there is a practice of recognizing the sick and shut in. The sick and shut in are those whose health prohibit them from making it to church on Sunday. And so on a Sunday, oftentimes the person making the announcement in the church will recognize the sick and shut in. Well, I'm not a church going person, but I am conscious of those who are near and dear to my heart. And one of them I like to recognize, who may not be sick and shut in at the time. Right now, she might be out of harm's way, is my sister. My dear sister, Letha Tripp, had some complications early in January, and I believe she is now out of harm's way. I want to recognize and tell my sister, who's now probably online again, she's on Facebook and the internet as much as I am, or tell our family members in her stead that I am glad that she is out of harm's way and glad that the family circled and came to the rescue accordingly. And so I stayed abreast of how she was doing. So my sister, who is now, I think, back in Searcy, Arkansas, sis, I love you, and we'll be in touch. So take your time in your recovery. I know you're anxious to get back into lifting weights and working out. But another person I wish to express my condolences to, not in the sick and shut in category, but in the losses category. This is a great loss, but a full life lived, I believe, Jon Donner, who is the husband of Bitte Westerlin. And Bitte and I have been constant companions on projects such as this one, the book that came out this year, Smak på Vasnulen. That was Bitte who urged me to work with her on that project, and I did, and I'm proud of it. But I'm most proud of knowing her, and through extension, because I've never met Jon Donner, but I've been the recipient of a number of gifts through Bitte, old books that he didn't want anymore. And so I have that in my collection. And those of you in the States know that books are important to me. And my expressing my condolences at this time, Bitte, is important to me. I know that you've been inundated with that. And so I say thank you for your friendship, and thank you for allowing me to know you and your family and your lost husband by extension. I also wish to move on to a more current matter, that being current here in Ekinis, and this Friday, today being Wednesday, the 5th of February, but this Friday, we'll go back into Cafe Schjerfbeck for our second installation, our second part of Drawn by Schjerfbeck. Let me pronounce that. Drawn by Schjerfbeck. Drawn by Schjerfbeck is this poetry event that we started off in December with, and now we're doing it again. And I've been immersed in research more than I usually am, and now specifically on Schjerfbeck and her paintings, trying to find how do I can take that of a painter into the poetry arena. I don't have to work on it alone because Anne Ingman, who is the owner of Cafe Schjerfbeck, plays the part of Schjerfbeck when she puts on the period clothes and walks around Aiken. And she does this in the summer months, I hope, not now, but she'll do it Friday again for the second time in conjunction with Poetry Nights as we host Drawn by Schjerfbeck. We also have joining us out to say Sebastian Baxbacher, who has always graced our stages, usually with Tasma, but I think this time will be without Tasma. He'll just be strumming his guitar in his own troubadour manner. So happy to have Sebastian back on stage with us. And also a new element that we started off with, drawn by Schjerfbeck back in December, will be continuing, and that is having a live model and a live artist there to render uh, things that take place during our events live. That is live painting. But this time we're going to have Jim Beano Vegan. Uh, I like to call him that by his stage name. He'll be there doing illustrations. You know, he had a show that just came down over at Galleria Perspective at the ground floor of the Ekenes Bibliothèque. So he had a wonderful exhibition of his illustrations, and he'll continue doing some illustrations this Friday at Drawn by Schjerfbeck. Won't you join us? It's a wonderful opportunity for those of you who are musicianally inclined, those of you who are word inclined. We have an open mic segment that we always allow for those of you who are last minute. But do me a favor, and if you care to, schedule in advance. Maybe tomorrow, Thursday, I'll be making up my playlist, and I'd like to include you. So those are some of the people who will be there. I'll be there. Anna Luthasala will be there. And won't you come? Um, what else do I have to say? Happy New Year. Late. We're almost into Valentine's Day in the United States. The United States also just had Super Bowl. I didn't watch Super Bowl. You know, I'm not a big sports fan. I am a fan of the word, and I am a fan of friendships. Thank you so much. Again, sister, leave the trip. Hope you're in full recovery so you can begin to exercise. Peace out.